Hi everyone, welcome back for the second part of our step-by-step balloon garland for beginners. This is Nina. If you haven't watched yet the first part of the video, I suggest that you watch it first before continuing to the second part, okay? So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Hello balloon mates! In this tutorial, I will show you how I make the most basic garland using the string method. In the first part of the tutorial, I taught how to inflate the balloons, how to tie them, what is a duplet, quad, core, cluster, and a lot more. So go back to the first video if you haven't watched it yet, because that is so important. What you're seeing now is the process of inflating all the balloons for the base garland. I used 3 quads per cluster. All in all, I inflated 2 clusters per color. The colors that I use are ivory, baby pink, mocha brown, and fuchsia pink. I got the color inspiration from an artificial flower that I have shown you on the first video. As you can see now, I join all the quads using a yarn. See how I slightly push down quads while doing the figure of 8 method. This is important so the quads will be intact. Don't pull the string too hard because it might cut through the balloons. I included 1 large balloon that I placed in every second quad of a cluster. You might think, how many quads should 1 cluster have? It depends on your stand and how long your garland will be. If it's a short garland, like for example an easel, make smaller cluster, like 6 balloons in a cluster. For larger composition, make longer clusters. Imagine an easel with 6 quads in a cluster, and 1 cluster is already halfway the height of the easel. You will have a hard time distributing the rest of the colors. So short garland, short cluster. Long garlands, longer clusters. As the garland gets longer, the harder it is to push down. So find a wall nearest from you and put the end of the garland against the wall. I apologize, I have a small space here, but I'll make sure you learn likewise. Continue adding quads until you reach the desired length. This is what we call the base garland, or others called it the spine. How to hang the base garland to the stand. I used 2/60s. I tied 2/60s to the stand to make attachment points. I've got a small backdrop, so I made just 3 attachment points. But if you have a large backdrop, make 4 or 5. The more, the better. I tie the end of the garland at the upper right side of the backdrop stand, then towards the left corner, then downwards. creating a semi-balloon arch. Pull the 260 and loop it around on random balloons many times, and you don't need to tie it. Position the balloons well, covering the gaps if there are. Just manipulate them until you're satisfied of how they look. Make sure the other end of the garland is touching the floor. It must not flip up. If you need another cluster, add it. And if you think you have enough cluster, but the balloons are still flipping up, manipulate the balloons or secure them with a 260. As you can see, I already added a cluster and I think the length is enough, but the garland still flips in the air. So I secured it with a 260. Your large balloons must not stick out from the base garland or the spine. They must be facing the front. For more organic look, we are going to add 5-inch balloons as filler balloons. Now we are going to create triplets. Not this big, okay? Not even this big. There are balloon artists that they do their filler balloons like this big. But honestly, I don't like it. I like it smaller, like 4-inch. I don't measure them. I just eyeball them when I inflate my filler balloons. But I don't like it this big. So I like it smaller, okay? So I just eyeball it. You don't need sizer for this. And I like same color. I like my triplets to be of same color. I'm not a fan of tricolors, okay? Like pink here, light pink here, and brown here. I like it to be just one color. I'll just finish inflating all these balloons and then we'll pop it all in our garden, okay? See you later. There are several ways how you can attach the filler balloons to the garland, and I will show you 2 ways, okay? To cut the 260 into half and then get the filler balloon, tie it around the core, look like a triplet with a tail. I always put my triplet in the same color as the clusters. Loop the 260s around random balloons several times, and there's no need to tie it. The other way is simpler, with the use of rubber bands. Of course, you have to choose rubber bands that are big. So it's just easy, put some rubber bands on the wrist and then hold the balloon like this and slide the rubber band like this. Okay. And then you can put it directly, which is easy, much easier. It's easier, right? When I was a beginner, I put in a lot of 5-inch balloons over all the garland. But I noticed that it takes away the elegance of the setup if it is full of 5-inch balloons. So I tried to lessen them and I liked it more. They are called filler balloons because they fill and covers gaps between balloons. So put them where you think there are obvious gaps. And don't forget to hide the necks of the 5-inch balloons. So I will accessorize my balloon garland with this greenery. Okay, so this is the simplest garland that I can teach you using the string method. So there are ways, okay, there are a number of ways how you can put a garland without using the string, which for me is a lot easier. And as we move along, as we go along with tutorials, I will teach you how to make your garland fluffier and to make the base wider. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope you like it, and follow my page and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and send me stars if you feel like doing so. I will greatly appreciate that. Thank you all for your support, and see you next time. Bye bye.